Today I want to tackle the term owning your emotions and discuss a couple of concrete ways to make this phrase applicable. The first step to owning emotions is being able to sit with that emotion long enough to really identify what's going on. Of course, this is more difficult with more intense or difficult emotions. For example, say you've been hoping to get a promotion at work. You've been planning on this promotion and you find out that your boss gave this promotion to someone else. You're very upset, you're hurt, but instead of sitting with this emotion or even acknowledging it, you automatically storm into your boss's office and say, "What's this about? I can't believe you gave this promotion to someone else, and I quit." So now you have a couple of problems. First, you don't have a job anymore. And second, you're upset with yourself for the way you acted. What would have been a healthier way to handle this? And would have acknowledging your emotions even have helped? Let's give it a go. Instead of reacting to your emotions immediately, try and sit with them for a little bit and figure out what's really happening for you. Ask yourself, what am I really upset about? Maybe you didn't even want that promotion. You didn't want the pressure that went with it. Maybe you have a lot of pressure at home and you're feeling inadequate or underappreciated. These are difficult feelings because we risk vulnerability in acknowledging these feelings. We also risk not being able to control the outcome. You might say, well, at least when I got upset, I could control how I expressed myself. But I want you to think about it. Were you really in control in that scenario? Next time you find yourself in an emotionally intense situation, I want you to take some time to think about things, ideally by yourself, before reacting to the situation. You may find that you're not even upset about the actual situation. In the example we used, you may not be upset about the actual promotion, but something behind that, or the meaning that you make of that situation. For example, the deeper problem may be that you feel like a loser, not that you didn't get the promotion. Once you've labeled what it really is that you're feeling, or the core emotion behind this, and if you have a hard time labeling these emotions, I would just Google a list of emotions to build up your emotional vocabulary. A lot of times we think there are like 3 emotions: sad, mad, and glad. But there are really a lot of other ways that we feel, and it's good to build up that emotional vocabulary. Check out the link in the description for more details. The next tip I would give is to find something healthy to temporarily separate yourself from these emotions. Exercise, for example, or if you're not in a position to exercise, writing. And just write out all the feelings that you're experiencing, and maybe it's just a list of words. The next step is to reach out and connect with an individual who you feel safe with. Everyone needs an emotional support team. This could be a friend, a family member, a therapist, someone who you can feel comfortable enough, or you do feel comfortable enough sharing these more difficult emotions or vulnerable emotions with. In this conversation, work on labeling how you feel without blaming anyone else for your emotions. So in the example of losing your job or getting upset because you didn't get the promotion, instead of blaming your boss, think about what's really happening for you and then share that. So for example, I'm feeling really inadequate. Work on labeling the emotions that you're really feeling. And initially, this may feel very raw or vulnerable to acknowledge what your core emotion is. This is normal. And it takes some practice to get used to owning your emotions versus blaming others for how you feel. So to sum things up, there are 3 steps to owning your emotion. First, sitting with your emotions. Second, naming them. And third, being vulnerable instead of blaming others. There's no getting rid of emotions, especially difficult emotions, but there are ways to manage them so they don't rule your life. Owning your emotions is a start.